If the previous episode may have caused some division, the third episode without a doubt split the fan base of the show. Although speaking in terms of the good majority, and performing a search on Twitter, it is still mostly perceived as a great show, and some even claiming that this is the best episode thus far. I, for one, am part of this majority, despite the episode strongly deviating from what transpired in the game, as I do understand the need to make changes that better tell the story on television. The episode begins with Joel and Ellie venturing further to make their way to Bill and Frank, who can provide assistance on their journey to reach the Fireflies. The first of two noteworthy scenes at this point is first where Ellie strongly pushed back to Joel that they were not forced to take her to the Fireflies, but rather they did so at their own volition, and Joel should not blame Ellie for what transpired at the end of the previous episode. This comes off as too strong of a tone for Ellie's character, as I believe she should have shown more sympathy towards what happened, but thankfully this was amended towards the end of the episode, which is more in line with both of their characters. The second scene I would like to highlight is when the pair encountered bones of those who were executed on the road. Joel explains that if the shelters could not accommodate more people, they will be left on the road, such as where they were, and shot on sight to ensure that they do not get infected. I do look favorably on this segment given that it hits two birds with one stone, where the setting is further expounded outside of the game, all while still making sense given overpopulation is a definite possibility in the post-pandemic world. This segment also exposes Ellie to the reality and cruelty outside of the world that she has known, and is all in all brilliantly written. Now on to the main character of this episode, which is none other than Bill. It begins with him doing his rounds around his territory, which is natural given his survivalist skill set. What I do have a minor issue, however, is how clean and pristine he manages to keep the area. Yes, he is very talented in staying alive, but I do feel that him alone could not manage to keep the location in such good condition, or at least being able to do so with multiple houses in the vicinity. Not to mention, he even gets to consume, shall we say, luxury goods, such as steak and wine consistently. Soon afterwards, it did not take long for Bill to meet the man who would eventually become his partner, Frank, and this is where the major shift in the story occurs. As mentioned earlier, there will be points where I believe some changes need to be made for the story to be better told on television, which I believe the episode succeeds in doing so. Sure, it does not tackle the outbreak, but rather the relationship of two men. It does, however, flesh out a character who only had a couple of minutes of prime time in the game, and not even in a fulfilling way, which is namely Frank. If every episode were to simply be Joel and Ellie sneaking, running, and fighting infected, it would be too redundant for a TV series, while it is only natural for video games to have a repeated loop of combat. Giving credit where credit is due, I do appreciate that this episode greatly expounded the relationship of Bill and Frank. On the other hand, the strongest criticism I heard from this episode is that given this first season is only 9 episodes long, will the remaining suffice to cover the rest of the story of the first game? Without giving any spoilers for the benefit of those who have not played the game, there is still indeed a lot of ground to cover, assuming that they do not remove events that transpire in the game. I believe that there's a high probability that some iconic moments will feel rushed, given how much time was spent for this episode. Hopefully I am mistaken and this show continues to remain great, or even do better. What do you guys think? Did you like this week's episode? Sound off in the comments below. Once again, I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you like the content, do drop a like and subscribe as there will be more to come. Thank you and have a great day.